We'll begin by understanding foundations of the relationship. Where did you guys meet and what first drew you guys to each other?
Where we met in Tacoma at probably at the church that we went to,
Mm-hmm.
the Indian church we went to.
Mm-hmm. What did you guys think of each other?
Well, she's everything to me. She's my world,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not ashamed to admit it. She's done a lot for me, more than anybody else ever has or ever will. So, you know,
I'm happy that we've been together all these years.
Mm-hmm. What about the first few dates? What did you guys think of each other? And then did that just grow?
It did. Well, I was a single parent, and so him accepting me having a child meant the most to me because he accepted my son as his son,
Mm-hmm.
and I had been in other relationships where my son was like second, and we always brought our son on dates with us, and so I knew that our relationship was going to work.
Mm-hmm. What was the moment for you guys which made you guys think that you guys wanted to spend the rest of your lives together?
well, we had our ups and downs in the beginning of the relationship, and I feel it was the moment was when we had Christmas present, and I bought Sean a rocking chair or rocking horse,
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of seemed to help a lot towards our relationship, and we've been like together ever since.
Mm-hmm.
You agree with that, girl?
I do. We weren't together for a short period, and I still had a lot of feelings for him, but when he brought that rocking horse over, I knew that his heart was with both of us, with Sean and me, and my mom was even really happy that we got back together, and that meant a lot to me too.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, every relationship faces challenges, obviously, and I'm going to ask you a couple questions on how you guys deal with those kind of challenges. Can you share a significant challenge you guys faced together and how you overcame that?
Well, I know the biggest challenge that I gave to her was that I'm, you know, I'm an alcoholic, or I was an alcoholic quite a bit back in the 80s, and I made life miserable for her and the kids, and she kind of put her foot down and said, well, this is the line, you can't cross over it. And I seemed like my heart wanted something, and my brain was just cockeyed at the time. And, but when I realized that she meant business, it kind of like brought me back over to that right side of that line.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't put up with me pulling my silliness any longer. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I think through that roller coaster times that we had, it's all come to, you know, it's all in the past, and everything's all done, and we've been together for going on 47 years, been married in August,
Mm-hmm.
and if she put her foot down and say, you know, don't cross over this line, I don't know where I would be. So I'm glad she did. I'm glad I'm here. And I wouldn't change it.
How do you resolve disagreements or conflicts in your a relationship?
Well, we're at that point where we understand that it's never wrong to say I'm sorry. And I always had I believe in the old saying, never go to bed mad. And that's what I try to do myself. I don't know what her thoughts are, but that's my thoughts. Is I never go to bed mad. So that's how, no matter what it takes to resolve a difference, I try to, from my point of view, I try to take and help resolve it with her.
For me, I think it was a learning experience because when in the earlier stages of our marriage, when we would fight, I would say things that I regretted,
Mm-hmm.
and I realized that. So I learned to walk away from this situation, and then calm down, and then come back and talk about things because I didn't want to regret saying hurtful things.
Mm-hmm.
And now we just understand each other. We might snap at each other, but we'll say, "Are you okay?" And then it just kind of changes everything, and we're fine.
Mm-hmm. Well, most people say keeping the spark alive is very important when it comes to having a long-term relationship. You guys have been married for 46 years,
Mm-hmm.
going on that 50. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions about keeping that spark. How do you keep your relationship exciting and engaging after so many years?
I think for me, your grandpa, he does so many little things that mean so much, and just makes my life so easy. And I don't think he realizes how much he does for me. Like when I get my medications, if I'm sick, he'll go get medicine for me. He helps do things around the house. He does a lot around the house, and that's really nice. But
As far as I go, is I don't mind doing things. I know that she goes to work every day, and when she comes home, I'm sure she's probably tired, and so I try to make things, as comfortable as possible for her when she comes home.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that in itself, helps us, a spark, so to speak, that you talk about. I think that helps it a lot because we do things for each other when, like for example, I've gone through a lot over the last 11 years,
Mm-hmm.
physically, and she's been there to help me, support me, every one of them, nursed me back to health, and you can't help but admire the effort she's putting into getting me well again. And if that helps to spark, then that's a good part of it.
Mm. The last couple questions are going to be less about just this relationship, more advice to give to other young people starting a relationship. We're going to start off with this one. What advice would you give to new couples hoping to have a long-lasting relationship?
for me, not to fight over little things, and always, if you say hurtful things, you need to say that you're sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's very important.
Mm-hmm.
I think you need to be patient, with each other, understand each other, and like I said, one of the biggest things is that she said about saying hurtful things. is, you know, if you think back when you're younger, when you know you're in your early 20s or late teens, you have a tendency to say things, you know, that come just flopping off the tongue,
Mm-hmm.
and they sometimes, you know, you don't mean it, but you say it, and then all of a sudden there's turmoil that starts.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm a firm believer in trying not to say hurtful things to
Mm-hmm.
people, not say any sarcastic things or any criticizing things or make fun of their shortcomings or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I do believe that has to be in a marriage too when you're younger, and I know that younger people all think, you know, I got this, you know, I know how to take care of this, I
Mhm.
know how to handle it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's an extremely difficult thing to have to understand that your partner has feelings,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't want to step on them.
Mm-hmm.
And if you step on them, you expect repercussions, and that's where a lot of trouble starts. Is everybody has repercussions bouncing back and forth until it's piled up so high. You're you know in a different kind of relationship. So you start off at the beginning and don't you know, think about your arguing. Think, is it worth it?
Mm-hmm.
And if you think back real hard about it, you'll remember that probably the argument you had was probably something that could have been solved just like that, and taken care of and brushed aside and never forgot again.
Good. For you two both, I would like you guys to define what is love.
Well, to me, love is just it's something like glue. You know, it sticks. You know, it's between us. It's keeping us together. If we didn't love each other, then, you know, we would be going our separate ways, or something drastic would have happened. But you know, thinking of it as like glue and keeping us together, and keeping our heads operating together at the same time, our brains and stuff like that. You know, the thoughts we have.
Mm-hmm.
I think all of that I would define as love.
Mm-hmm.
But you can love to eat something, you know, a hamburger or whatever. But that's one kind of love. But the love between a husband and wife, like I said, that's got to be like that glue.
Mm-hmm. And your grandma?
I think equal respect, that you really sincerely care for someone and you know they care for you, and it's unconditional, and you just you want to be the best for that person, and also I feel like with your grandpa, he's always looked out for everything that I want, and he just has done so much that our love is so strong.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm so thankful that he's in my life.
Beautiful. Well, that's about it. Thank you for staying for the interview.
Okay.
Okay.
I can go to bed.
Okay. I got a stiff neck yet.